Hey, good afternoon, everyone. How's it going? I am back today doing a few more of my keychains. I actually need just a second to get some of my tools set up here. What you see here is some of the beads that I did off camera. This was a little bit after my last stream. And let me see, make sure that I've got all the right sizes out here. I don't remember if I went up to a 6 or not, but I'll go ahead and grab everything up to a 6. Okay. Let me grab one more thing here. Let me grab one of my keychains. All right, let's make sure I'm actually ready to do this thing today, huh? There. Now, I have my setup a little bit different today. And what I was doing before is I have this little container, just this little Tupperware thing that I had used. And I usually always just have my cloth in it like I do today to wipe my tools off. And I had the bead suspended over that last time, and I thought, gosh, this is just really annoying. I need to find something to fix this with. And just kind of as a last minute thing, the other day I was watching my daughter play with her clay, and I'm like, that's totally going to work. And originally I was going to put it on this, and then I was thinking about it. And this middle section is dipped down quite a bit lower than the rest. And so I just have 2 little bits of clay that I stole. And I have these sitting here in this nice, there we go. So nice little crevice that they can sit in. That's not going anywhere. That's not moving. And then there is plenty of room underneath. It's not touching anything here. So that's my setup. That's how we're going to roll today. All right. Just, I like coming up with little fun functional things. Okay. So I want to finish these ones. I just have one more dot to put on these ones. I'm going to get something right on the bottom. I just hadn't done that before and then kind of forgot about it. That was a couple of days ago. And then today I have this blue and purple, and they're so dark they almost look the same. But, okay, so let me get this set of out of the way. Make sure I don't go rolling off my desk. And the blue. So I'll be doing those ones. Probably both of them today. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So no additives to the paint, no mediums. Not doing any of that stuff today. Don't need a whole lot of paint. Let me see. Now this is all completely dry. These are several days old as far as that goes. And this is just pearl white. If you didn't catch that, so this is just the DecoArt white pearl. It's kind of what I've been using on all of these so far. Because they're so small, the real simplistic designs and colors work really well. So that's what I've stuck with. All right, there we go. So like I said, that's all I'm going to do to those. For the rest, these ones were finished. Kind of a little clamshell sort of look to them. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to take and sit these off to the side. Sit these on my desk out of the way over here. Take me just a second to flip them over and set them down. Okay. There. Okay, so what do we want to do first? Let's go ahead and do the blue since I've got the white pearl, which is the color that I wanted to use for these anyways, on there. Okay. Now my inspiration for these, last year I had done a bunch of tea light holders. And the first one, when I went to my craft show last year, the very first ones that sold were the blue and silver. And so this is the same blue actually that I used for those. And I thought, well, since apparently those seem to do so well, let's go ahead and keep that. So I'm going to try to maybe recreate, I don't know, what I'm thinking is I wanted to recreate some of the walked dots, because on the tea lights I had a series of walked dots, and then on the other side I had swooshes. So I'm thinking maybe I might have enough room to do walk dot here on either side, so equal to one another. Try to keep it kind of small. And then on the sides in between those, I can do a little swoosh. We'll see. Let's see what size I can get away with doing here. Probably 5. Okay, that should be okay. And again, 4 of these beads will fit on one of my keychains, on the keychain bars. So that's why I'm doing them in sets of 4. Let's see. I don't want it all the way near the bottom. Maybe something like that. Okay. Let's try this. Let's go for a 2, and then I'll make the walk dots a 1. Maybe 1.5. Yeah, let's stick with a 1.5. I take it back. That one kind of came out smeared, didn't it? Let's fix that real quick. I can get my Q-tip. Still kind of awkward, but it's better than it was. And I'm very eager to get these finished to get sealant on them, to get the gloss varnish on them. And I keep having to stop myself from doing that. It really is going to be much easier to do them all at once versus, you know, try to do them in a little batch and do more than one. So I do want them to go all the way around in this case, so. There. Okay. Oh, I forgot I have it on my Lazy Susan today. Could have just turned it. Okay, wanted to make sure that that was going to fit, so I'm just going to go up a size. So I started with a 2, so let's go into a 3. And then I'm going to go into a 2 instead of doing the 2.5 because I want to make these a little more triangular. So let's see. And yeah, I'm only doing 3 dots because I'm going to switch tools. Now let's do the rest here. Looks like I can at least get 3 dots all the way around. All right, now what I'm thinking about is I can either repeat this. Oh, you know what? I missed one. How did I do that? Okay, I can either repeat this on the other side, or I can do something different. How about we do something different? How about we do some swishes on this side? Let's see. So I stayed with the 5 that I used on the other side. And then maybe instead of doing a traditional kind of fan shape, like I did on the other ones, that kind of almost seashell pattern, maybe let's do the other ones. Let's do something different. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, didn't land on anything important. All right. Go to the other side and we'll do the same there. Something a little bit different. Doesn't have to be crazy. Such small patterns need to be simplistic. Sometimes I really wish I was ambidextrous, let me tell you. It's not very easy to do these odd angles sometimes. Ooh. Last one, last one. There. Okay. Once this is dry, if there's any little spots on here that don't quite look right, I can fix that. Okay. And I think I'm just going to leave it white. Okay. And then here's my little purple beads. The purple ones, I think I'm just going to do with a lighter, the orchid color. And do some kind of diamond shaped swooshes on it. So, all right, let's see here. Again, I'm going to be real careful if I can here and pull these off and then just set them aside on my desk over here. Okay. Piece of tape that I have on this side getting stuck, so let's try them from this side. I didn't want them to move, so I have that tape on here, but some of these beads obviously have larger openings than others. Oh, geez, this one is not even gonna, does not want to go on at all. Okay, so let's end with that one because the tape does get wider towards the bottom. Okay, that one goes on okay. There. Now I was kind of debating and change of mind here. Okay. Now let's see if I can do this one the way I had envisioned here. I think I'll stay with a 4. I think a 4 is gonna be okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start by pulling the top into a triangle here. And then we're going to pull this down like a swoosh. There. Something like that. I feel like it might be easier if I do it this way. Try to want to make them more consistent, a little fatter. Okay. Let's do 2.5. Then I want to get one on either side of this. It's coming out better than I thought it would. One of these days, I think I might have to get a sharper swooshing tool. I've always done just fine with this one, but stuff like this makes you wish that you had one. A little bit of touch up on this one here. There. Now, do I want to do more down here? Maybe just a dot, I think. Just to fill the space. All right, I'll give that a quick second. Then I can put another one of those on the other side. I like these colors together. I like these two purples. I might go back in, however, and add maybe some of this pearl white. Take another look at it when it's done and when they're dry. And see if there's a top dot that I want to put on there or something like that. I've been thinking, I've been so far doing all of these beads in these sets of 4 so that they'll go on the keychain and it'll be, you know, one set pattern and color. However, I was starting to wonder, just to add kind of as a fun element, to let people pick beads that they want to go on their chain, right? So they could pick whatever 4 that they wanted to. Still make all these, right? So still make the sets of 4. But instead of like going ahead and pre-packaging them, just let people pick, right? So I'm sure that some people would pick a set of 4, and others might want a complete, you know, random set mix. So I don't know, what do you think? So if you would buy these, or if you would get this as a gift or something, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to choose just the sets of beads, or do you think it's better in a set, or maybe a little bit of both? I feel like you guys have some good opinions on that stuff. So if you've made it this far in the video, you're hearing that, let me know. Drop a comment. Interested to hear. My only fear is if I went the direction of letting people pick their own, then of course at some point, you know, there's going to be a style or a bead or a color that's going to be more popular than the others. And the rest are just going to sit there. And then nobody's going to buy it, right? Then somebody's going to be sitting there with the leftover. It's like the lonely kid that didn't get picked, you know, for kickball or whatever. That's the only thing I don't want to happen. I don't want to inhibit sales just because there's not enough of whatever design or pattern or color that somebody wants. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, I can make more beads. The beads are not the problem, right? I mean, I can make a bunch. I can make many more than I have the keychains for, and allow people to kind of sort through and look at stuff. But that brings up the problem. Okay, well then how do I lay them out? Do I just like put them in a bowl and let people like dig through stuff? Because that seems kind of awkward, and I don't think that people necessarily just want to stand there sifting through stuff for 20 minutes, you know. Or I could like put them on something like this, like on kind of a skewer thing, and display them, right? But then do people get upset like either having to, like I said, stand there and sort through stuff or look at stuff? Do people actually like doing that? You know, would you like just standing, for example, at the craft fair and hunting or choosing? I mean, the other part of that is to the one craft fair that I did last year, the space was pretty limited. There was the way that they had the tables set up, it wasn't so much where people could just kind of flow through wherever they wanted to go. They really had a path, right? It was kind of you come in and you circle around all the tables, or some in the middle, some all the way around. So they really kind of forced you to go, you know, through this loop. And I'll tell you the story that why I'm upset, not even upset, I shouldn't even say that, why I'm not sure that it's a great idea is, okay, so the one craft show that I did in November of last year, like I said, the space was kind of limited. They had that pathing set up, and I had a gentleman that was right across from me, right? So I had a booth sort of in a corner. So I'm in, if this is, you know, here, they didn't have anybody directly in the corner, but they had someone here, that was me. And then right across the aisle, they had 2 tables that were back to back in the center of the room. And so I'm here and this other table is right across the way, just a little bit offset. And as people are coming in and going around the corner, they are kind of getting quote unquote stuck in front of my booth, which is fine. I definitely wasn't complaining about that part, because it gave people, you know, a chance to actually stop and look. But this gentleman was doing a giveaway, right? And I think it was like an Amazon gift card that he was giving away for people that purchased his stuff. And so he had people stopped there at his booth filling out the little entry form, which was fine, until it wasn't. Because at some point in the day, you know, the first hour wasn't really all that busy. But then as the day went on and it was really busy, I had everybody just standing there, right? Nobody could get through because you'd have someone filling out this silly little form. I shouldn't say that, but it's what it felt like. You know, nobody could get through. So like I said, people were kind of piling up. And I don't want to do that. I don't know what the space is going to be on the other fairs that I'm going to be doing this year. So I don't want people upset. I don't want people standing at my booth and blocking other people behind them. You know, I think people really do, I think if they would have the time, I think they would prefer to maybe like stand and look and choose, and not be rushed, you know, not be pushed. But at the same time, I feel like there's probably enough people that would just want to pick up something, especially if they're looking for gifts, right? So if it's something for yourself, I think you're going to take more time to like sort through, right? I'm thinking if you had a selection of beads that you could choose from and it's for you and you're like, ooh, I like that one and maybe this one. Oh, but does this one look better? You know, and sit there for 5 minutes debating on it. If it's maybe for a gift for somebody else, although I'm not saying that you couldn't do that, I think probably the likelihood is that you would just pick up something pre-made. So I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. What do you think? What would you do? No. My first show this year is in August. And then I have one in October and another in November. So I can always use the first one as practice and see. I can always set up the first one as maybe both. Maybe I can make some extra beads and leave some pre-made and some choose your own. Maybe see which one people like better. I don't even remember how many of these bars I purchased. I think initially I did like 25. So I have enough to where I can pre-make some and not others maybe. All right. Okay. Let's get this off of here. Bloop. All right. So there's that one. Okay. The only hesitation I have about if putting something on here, you know, putting the silver, where in the world would I put the silver? I could maybe just put a silver dot here and here. I mean, putting it on the dot on the bottom is fine. So I have no issue doing this one here. tiny, tiny. I need something else on this. I feel like something else. Let's see. Let's do the 0.5. That's not bad. These remind me of little hyacinth flowers. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, I think these should be dry enough to do a top dot on. They're so small, so they dry really quickly. There, all done. Okay. Let that dry. All right, so these are probably dry now too. Okay. Show you what these ones will look like. Whoops. Throw that off my lap there. So again, these ones are all going to get a nice coat of gloss varnish. So they're going to be nice and shiny when they're finished. Oh, did I just do that? Funny. Let's try that again, shall we? Seriously. Okay. So these ones remind me of little seashells. Okay. outside of that. And then again, they're all double-sided. And then I've still got to find something for the middle. So let me move these up here. So there's one. Come on, turn around. There. There's that one. Let's see if I have another one that's put together. So they come separate. Let me do the other ones. And so this one has two different patterns on it. So like that. Okay. Gosh, display those is hard. Okay, and then these ones, they should be dry, theoretically. Okay, and then I'll show you the other ones that I've already completed. So just so you get an idea of what else is up here. So we've got these. And let's see, the purple flowers, the green flowers. Not sure I like these red ones very much. They're the first ones that I made kind of playing around. But I think everything's gonna look better once they're varnished. And last one. Ooh, those lines. That's funny. I didn't even realize that some of the lines were kind of crooked. So those are the same. And then these ones, completely different. All right. So those are the ones that I've got done so far. I've still got plenty to do. I have at least all of these beads that are painted. So that's another quite, I don't know, 5 or 6 anyways. More sets. Yeah, making sure that these got all dried okay. All right, but that is all I have got for right now. Certainly hope you guys enjoyed. If you have made it this far, as always, if you're not subscribed, take a moment to do so, and so that you'll catch the next live. Here in the spring and summertime, I have been very, very busy, and so I think I'm going to be doing a lot more live sessions, just because unfortunately I don't have a whole lot of time to edit, and so I'll probably be doing that more often. So if you like what you see and you want to it out again, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you around next time. All right, thanks guys, have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.